Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus with me, Dark Sage Walker. I was trying to get to Hush with Lilith, so might as well give that another shot. Admittedly, I'm feeling a little tired today. Been at work since about 6 a.m., which admittedly is not the earliest time anyone could possibly be at work. I'm airing this out because there's the possibility that I could play very poorly. Matter of fact, I tried playing a run not too long ago just to get myself into the swing of things, and lo and behold, I was a sleepy boy. Kept taking all sorts of bad damage, so I'm going to hope that I can find some way to do a little bit better. First thing I can hope for is that I can find a way to re-roll that kidney bean, because that item is awful. But it seems like the game is rather intent on not giving me any sort of consumables whatsoever. Not even just bombs, just anything. So, I just have to hope to find something. Well, there's a key, but it's not exactly the most helpful thing in the world. Well, that's probably a... God damn it. That's probably a super secret rock right there, but without a bomb, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, yeah, this is off to a great start. What? How did that hit me? Oh yeah, this is just gonna be great. All the worst damage in the world, we'll just take all of it. Yeah, who needs to complete runs anyway? And a range up. Oh yeah, this run is off to a great start. Alright, I'm hoping to find something that changes my fortune here on this floor, because this is not cutting it. I need something nice and strong and transformative. Cause without it, I'm just gonna be a sitting duck. But the game only wants to drop keys. No money, no hearts, no bombs, just keys. One coin. Oops. Gotta be shitting me. Not just because it was a room full of shit, but... Wow, this is... I honestly don't think that would be a good idea right now, so let's not do that. Okay, I don't even know what locked battery does. Okay, here's our first bomb, way after I could have used one. Not seeing any tinted rocks. Oh. Yay, the haunt. So I might end up using this bomb for combat. Believe it or not, this run is actually turning out to be worse than the run I tried doing after work. And there goes Devil Deal Chance. And of course, only now do I find a damage up, now that I'm pretty much on death's door with no chance of really getting any better. I would be doing myself a favor right now to just call it quits and try again. But, for my own sake, I will keep trying. I am not the sort of person that likes to just give up, even though it doesn't seem like a bad option right now. Especially since I don't have the ability to crowd control. Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, let's try that again. Hopefully with a little bit less. Hopefully with a little bit less, I'm the worst thing that's ever existed. I don't know, maybe as I've spent a lot of time practicing this game as other characters, maybe my ability to play as Lilith has kind of suffered. I used to love playing as Lilith, but I don't know, I've been having more and more trouble playing this character every time I've made an attempt as of late. So either I'm starting to notice the inherent problems as playing as Lilith, or perhaps I've just been having some bad runs lately. Go with Ipecac until I imagine things will be better. And who doesn't like having just inherently explosive shots? What I am going to need to do, however, is make sure to be careful where I aim them. Just try not to... Oh, of course. Let's be careful not to fire at enemies point blank. Oh look, here comes an enemy that likes to just rush you down. That is Ipecac's greatest weakness. Otherwise, I love this item. This item is the shit. Alright, now we're looking a little bit better. Of course, we're also looking a little bit potentially overpowered, but since when was that ever really an issue, really? Hold on, I want that. You never know when you're going to need double Ipecac. Alright, so maybe giving up on that run was probably the best... Maybe giving up on that run was the best thing for me. Maybe also stuttering less would be a good thing. Yeah, why not? Oh, so yes, the critical hit shots actually are going to make a difference. Lovely. I will definitely take AAA battery, thank you. Did you hit that damn thing? Thank you. Ah, it doesn't seem like it's asking too much. I guess the game would disagree, though. Yeah, gonna need those bombs. It's not like I'm spitting bombs out of my little helper's face or anything. Die already, thank you. Yes, I definitely want Humbling Bundle. Nine volt would be nice, but you know, I'm really just doing the. Oh, you tease! dare you give me BFF when I only have 2 goddamn cents? Not gonna turn my nose up at a bone heart. Not gonna turn my nose up at Dark Bum either. I know I mentioned that it's probably a bad idea to have Dark Bum when you've got Lilith, but at the same time, it's not gonna hurt anything. I just have to make sure that I'm not using Box of Friends in a room full of red hearts. I don't need to divide my red hearts in between 2 Dark Bums. 1 Dark Bum will be plenty, thank you. Humbling Bundle, by the by, since I realize I probably haven't explained this item yet, just makes it so that keys, coins, and hearts are all doubled when you pick them up. Basically making them all BOGO versions. Wait, keys, hearts, bombs. Not necessarily batteries, because that would be redundant. This is going to make it so I can actually use the shop. This run is looking a lot better. Hell, I might even be able to get boss rush done if I move fast enough. The only thing that could make this better is if I had some form of explosion immunity. So, here's hoping. Really, Envy? You think that in some world somebody wants to see you? Sweet. Alright, PhD. Is that worth taking? I think it can't hurt anything after I scroll that guy off screen.
Balls of steel.
We're gonna do this in order to make the path a little bit shorter. Oh, that was pretty. Come on, explosions. Do your job. Thank you. Fallen Chain isn't necessarily going to help, but it's not necessarily going to hurt either. Hey, this is a much better run. Why couldn't they get a run like this earlier? Oh, you gotta get the Problem Child run. Screw you. Also, why did that do a full heart? Was I at half a heart before, or was that one a champion somehow? Well, I'm not going to complain about an improved tier rate. Hey, you should drop lump of coal. That'd be great. I don't think so, fucker. Alright, look at that. Everything's coming up me. Isn't that right, Lulu? Right, now that I have a run that I'm not ashamed to play, I can actually take some time to talk about other things. Here's something that I thought about earlier. How many people actually played the game Earthbound when it first came out? Now, I might just be the weird kid who liked JRPGs too much growing up. But I remember Earthbound fondly. Okay, there's nothing there that's that helpful. For those who have never played Earthbound, what we have is essentially an RPG in the Dragon Quest mold. Something where when you run into enemies, you go into a different screen, and everything kind of plays out via text boxes. Which, no, I don't think that's necessarily a bad way to do it. No, Dragon Quest games still kind of do that. They just do so with some, basic animation to it. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I think it's a fine method of game design, so long as you make that like secondary battle screen somewhat interesting. In Earthbound, it accomplishes that by making the background really trippy color splashes. Box of stuff. More stuff. What are you? Interesting, but not necessary. The other thing that made Earthbound notable was the idea that it didn't use your typical RPG setting. Earthbound, interestingly enough, actually took place more or less in modern day. This meant that they were... Sorry, like I said, still getting over a cold, which has persisted a little too long. This means that, unlike everything taking place in, the old world and every character being a wizard or a swordsman or, yada 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 bibbidi bob bibbidi boo, what you have is essentially a group of average, well, in this case, kids. By now, we all know who Ness is, thanks to Super Smash Bros. But he also gets the party of the token girl named Paula, who is what would be the equivalent of a mage in a regular JRPG. Yet Jeff, who is, well, I don't know what he would be in a regular JRPG. In Earthbound, he's your tech guy. So I guess gadget-based character of some sort? No, not a rogue, but not a fighter. Let's just call him what he is. He's Jeff. And, for lack of a better word, Jeff is a nerd. Stereotypical nerd. Nice suit, glasses, the works. But what he brings to the party is that I don't think I'm gonna get that. Is that he can fix machines and use bottle rockets. Bottle rockets being supplied by a black market dealer. This of course being before laws were passed saying that black market dealers can no longer deal with children. And what he ends up becoming is, as far as your group is concerned, basically a glass cannon. He doesn't have as much health as Ness. Why am I stuttering so much? I must be short on sleep. So he doesn't have Ness's health pool, but he doesn't have magic either. And he does have more health than Paula, who is, as had been mentioned before, your game's mage. But there's no magic in Earthbound, so what do you have in place of magic? Well, why, psychic powers, of course. You get PSI and psychic abilities in that game because that's clearly more modern and contemporary than magic. But they're functionally identical, so they could have just called it the same thing and no one would have really noticed. Come on. Acknowledge my presence, you asshole. And we'll pick this up. Where's the shop? I'm just trying to find that to see if I can find anything interesting. There it is. For example, some form of explosion immunity would be nice, but I'm not going to turn down full mapping. Alright. Every little bit donated helps. That makes your last character your Asian stereotype. Oh, I'm sorry, his name is Pooh. My bad. Though with a name like that, maybe it is better just to say Asian stereotype. I feel bad for him having a name like that. Hey, adversary, how about you die? Thank you. Nobody likes you anyway. I do not want Sister Maggie, that just seems like a waste. For lack of a better word, Pooh is unique. Once again, he doesn't quite fit the warrior mold. He's another jack of all trades, which is kind of what Ness is, except for Ness has a bit more physical power, and Pooh has a bit more PK Starstorm. Alright, so there wasn't anything there that was really all that useful, but oh well. You can collect those, buddy. Thank you. Nope, there's no reason to go over there, so... Or rather, I should say up there, seeing as I'm looking at the northern part of the map. Whoa! Hey, nice shoot, Tex. Oh, yes. Oh, come on! Fuck off with that shit. Sorry, I got sidetracked. There we go. Shop. Okay, well, we have an opportunity to make a play here. Let's see if we can get something good. No. Interesting, but no. If I had a teleport card, I could do something with the Bible. Because I don't know if I've unlocked the Halo in this run, or this file. So, let me see if I can find a teleport card. That's right, there's a room full of cards back there. One of them has to be a teleport card. If I can do this fast enough, I can use the teleport card after I beat Mom to teleport her. Well, no, that'd be after I beat Mom, though, so it'd be kind of pointless. Oh no, it'd be in teleporting back to the shop to pick up my box of friends. Okay, yeah, I think I get it. Kind of sad that I don't even understand my own plan. There. Oh, that'll work too. Alright, so let's go unlock the Halo real quick by beating Mom with a Bible. Which, by the way, falls perfectly in line with the story, if you remember. Oh, just die already. Criminy. And I'll definitely take metal plates. Any sort of defensive advantage is well worth it. Alright, let's buy the Bible. Let's also buy that soul heart. Can never have enough health. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. Oh, Earthbound is fun. What the more modern contemporary setting allows the game to do is make some very interesting design choices and potentially some very cosmopolitan references. For example, there's one part of the game where you're tasked with going through essentially a building full of cultists in order to get the Franklin badge. Well, what they cleverly don't tell you about that part of the game is that was inspired by a somewhat real event. Okay, let's get ready! So hopefully we can get both Boss Rush and Hush done in one run, that'd be nice. That took way more shots than I thought it should. Come on, you son of a bitch, die. Lulu, why are you making my shots miss? By the way, if you haven't figured out that this is what makes Lilith extraordinarily powerful in not just Boss Rush, but in Greed mode, well, I don't know what to tell you. For anyone else thinking that this is extremely dangerous, you're probably not wrong. I just love this feeling of absolute control and power. There's something very satisfying about carpet bombing the entire floor of Boss Rush. Oh, there you are. Fucking adversary. Suck it, punk. How many? I just realized Samson's chain counts as a familiar. How many of these am I dragging with me? Oh my goodness. All the ipecac shots. Take it all. Alright. That was beautiful. It also, the contemporary setting of Earthbound also makes it so that instead of necessarily just fighting magical monsters in the sort, you're well, I just let you have that. Also means that you're not fighting things like slimes and goblins and whatever other weird repressed memories you may have. Nope, you're fighting things like possessed cars and signposts and new age retro hippies. I just realized how odd that sounds, new age and retro. Embarrassing. Not that there's anything I can do with all this cash, but if I happen to... Oh wait, yeah there is. If I get to Hush, I can. I still have a few minutes to do that, so let's make it happen. How did I dodge all that? Away. Okay, now I'm just being stupid. Anything good? Shadow, Book of Belial. Okay, well I didn't really want Book of Belial. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Sometimes it's just worth taking a risk. This time around, not so much, but hey, it was worth a try. I didn't lose my Incubus, didn't lose my Dark Bomb. Those are the two things that I think are the most useful right now. Give. Oh, you son of a bitch. You ought to be ashamed of your damn self. Now, when the idea of Earthbound first came to my attention, at the time I wasn't really that thinking it was anything that special. It's like, well, what makes this different from... what makes this so much different? So it takes place in modern day. That doesn't seem to change the inherent value of the game. That's what I was telling myself as a youngster in the 90s, trying to wrap my head around this concept, but after playing it, and, you know, I already liked RPGs at the time. My mom actually got me into Final... Screw those fucking... God, I hate those monsters. My mom actually got me into Final Fantasy when I was a kid, so I already had a bit of an affinity for the RPG. So I didn't think it was going to hurt anything to give this Earthbound thing a try. Of course, the game's marketing didn't help it at all. Being marketed in the old Nintendo Power magazines with things like "This game stinks" with scratch and sniff stickers that smelled roughly reminiscent of wet farts. I mean, yeah, it was not doing anything to help the game's reputation by trying to use this strange childlike mentality of "it smells like farts, therefore it's got to be fun." Well, you know, it's one way of looking at it, but not everyone who was going to play this game was a kid, you know. So yeah, when the game first came out, it didn't do so well. The game kind of received a prolonged pissing session from a lot of pundits at the time. But part of that is because when you're doing a review, you don't always have time to go through an entire RPG. RPGs known for being heavily based on their story and the idea that they were generally much longer than other games at the time. Remember, in the same world where Contra is a thing, and that game generally lasts about, so depending on how well you know what you're doing, maybe an hour. To have this entire genre of games that can take hours upon hours to complete, well, that's a whole new can of worms. And most reviewers didn't have that kind of time, so to have the sort of time to dedicate to understanding the subtleties and nuances of Earthbound, yeah, I'm not so surprised. Game didn't do so well when it came out, partially because reviewers didn't understand it, partially because you're trying to sell the game on the power of fart. Works strangely well for Binding of Isaac, not so much so for a game that needs to be taken at least semi-seriously. Alright, there's Hush. We can do this. Lulu, can you please stop standing on my hand while I'm trying to play the game? Ooh, Proptosis. That makes my day. Oh, and what do you know? I guess I can't be too upset at the bird. He's not actually harming anything, it's just annoying. And Aquarius or Aries? I might as well take Aquarius. I don't like this item, but at the same time I can think of far worse things to be taking. Plus it knocks an item off of my collection page, so here's that. Yes, I do want that, thank you very much. I also want that. I also want that. What is this? Yeah, I'll take that. Alright, I think we're ready. Oops. I screwed up. I screwed up again. If I keep screwing up, I'm not going to be able to make it past this game. Oh, that's right. I can block shots with Samson's chains. It's also worth pointing out that, again, because of the much more modern and contemporary setting, the main character did not wield a sword like, once again, comparing it to Dragon Quest. The main characters always wield swords in Dragon Quest games. In this game, the main character, Ness, wields yo-yos and baseball bats. It wasn't just a sort of lol random humor value thing. It actually gave the character an identity. Identity, something that most modern games don't have much of nowadays. I've harped on that before, but no reason to stop if the disease is still present. If you're still showing the symptoms, keep taking your medicine, motherfucker. Okay, you can pop up whenever you're ready now, buddy. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of them. This is a very interesting hush fight, actually. I'm glad I did this. And you actually get a chance to see what the hush fight is like. And I know the last couple of times I got to this guy, I just melted his ass. This, you get to see the actual battle. That's much more interesting, I think. So, right on. Lame. There we go. That is what's known as a bullet hell boss. I would hope that that's obvious, that it's obvious as to why. Now, as a kid, I was never able to make it very far into Earthbound. I remember when, video rental places were still a thing. I rented the game about, I don't know, 100 million times or so. Like I said, my mom got me into Final Fantasy, so I was already pretty well okay with the whole RPG thing, but didn't really know what this whole Earthbound thing was all about. Once I'd played the game, I started getting it, but only now that I'm older do I truly understand the effectiveness of all of the imagery and things that they did decide to put in the game. The game's primary writer, Shigesato Itoi, who I believe was also the game's director, I could be wrong about that though, using a lot of personal inspiration for that. as I said, or as I was starting to say before I got distracted, the mission, the part of the game where you have to go deal with cultists, well, that was actually based off of something that was happening in Japan at the time. A series of cultists that went around doing some pretty abhorrent things. I'm not going to go into all of the details of what they did now, partially because I can't remember all of them, partially because I kind of would rather you go look up the story for yourself. It's all very interesting stuff, and I think it really highlights just what sort of inspiration the game has. But yes, that was inspired by real events happening in Japan at the time. Or, to put it another way, Shigesato Itoi is a genius of a man who used all these real-life influences to create a marvelous game. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, this could end up meaning that I don't clear this as Lilith. But regardless, I did what I wanted to do. In Japan, incidentally, the name of the game isn't Earthbound, but Mother. Which may seem like an odd shift, but remember, when things get localized into English, they like to change the name of things so it either makes more sense to the way that we're seeing things, or just to North American sensibilities. And I get the feeling that at the time, what the hell was even there? I didn't see anything. Oh, maybe I'm an idiot. So once again, the game got a bit of a name change for North America, just like, all the Final Fantasy titles that we actually had their numerology shifted. But I think for, all the weirdness that the game employs, I do think that the title Mother actually makes more sense. But it requires knowing a few things about the game to understand that viewpoint. But, to put it simply, the game both starts and ends with talking to your mother. And a lot of things are centralized around the theme of children going on an adventure. As said, I think the title Mother actually makes far more sense. Here in America, the very first Mother game was released on the Wii U as a previously unreleased title called Earthbound Beginnings. So if you want a good place to check out the Earthbound series, I would start there. Or, more rather, just start with the Super Nintendo Earthbound. The game is, for one, better balanced in difficulty, and two, has a better story going for it. Now, once again, I don't know what it is with Japan and Part 3s, but there is a Mother 3 that has never been localized. There's a team of fans who did a fan translation of the game, but it's never been officially translated and released by Nintendo themselves. So, if you want something to petition Nintendo for, how about a Western localization of Mother 3? It's a Game Boy Advance title, so they can't be saying that it's too difficult to do. Just bring it over already. You already have legions of fans just clamoring for it. It would absolutely be a bombshell of a move to bring that game over here, just like Secret of Mana 3. Like I said, what is it with Japan and Part 3s? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. My name is Darkside Walker, and I'll be seeing you.